Hey everyone, long time no see. It's me, Arkeem Ra. Today we're going to be talking about a certain event that happened in fairly recent history. Oh, I got something open. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I had the YouTube video open from before and I forgot to close it. Anyway, basically this is the gate, the triangle-shaped food article gate. Um, we're gonna get into it with Flesh Simulator, who I like these people on the internet, like him and many others, who are very fact based, and they're journalists, they're independent researchers. I would classify Flesh Simulator as that. I would say the Conspiracy Files, Colin from the Conspiracy Files, Colin Browen, I would uh, classify him as that. And essentially, what these guys are doing is they're providing grounding, a ground zero to get to the point where we can maybe talk about what's actually happening with these dark government projects and things like that, and time travel and all the wildness. But really, we're just making sure that people. I like this video that he just did. I think it's important that people don't forget about this, forget about what happened. Rewind to when it happened. Let me see. I forget what year it was. Uh, 2016. Okay, so when this was happening, I remember learning about it adjacently on the internet, and I wasn't really deep into conspiracies or anything at the time. I was living a really normal life, burying my memories still and stuff like that, and I just thought I was a normal person still. Um, but I remember I looked into it and I found all these articles debunking it, like mainstream ones. So me being naive and I guess probably just wanted to protect my worldview, I just glossed over and was like, okay, if they're talking about it in mainstream news, then it must be a non-issue and probably just some crazy conspiracy theory. And then with the QAnon movement, it got swept up into the QAnon movement. But as you're going to see in this little video I'm going to react to that I'm going to show to you, it's not really associated with it. It happened before the QAnon thing ever happened. But we're just going to get right into it. This is Flesh Simulator. His channel is great. He covers MK Ultra and all sorts of stuff, and with kind of a very dark sense of humor that I think helps his censorship maybe a little bit. He doesn't get censored as much because he's very smart about how he does it, and he has a sense of humor about it. But anyway, without further ado, let's check out this video that he made that just came out like 6 hours ago. I could make a video myself, but I don't see the point. So uh, you expect more content like this. I just think it works well. It makes things easier. All right.
Hello. This is probably the sketchiest video I've done to date. This deals with a topic that is one of the most polarizing and controversial in recent memory, and in my opinion not only has some of the most misinformation and disinformation surrounding it, but also a non-trivial amount of hard evidence. I'm talking, of course, about the question of what was the deal with Washington, D.C.'s most infamous restaurant, aka damn it, okay, Triangular Handheld Food Gate.
Onigiri Gate. Triangle Gate?
What we're going to be doing is breaking down some of the stuff that's known for certain, in a way that avoids speculation. This is not only for the sake of trying to avoid defamation lawsuits, but also just general self-preservation. Speaking of self-preservation, I've been spending a lot of time at the range. In fact, I had wanted to do this video earlier, but I wanted to wait until I had a CCW. I can sense the trepidation in the room. Everyone just got a bit uneasy feeling. Huh. Why is that? Well, for many of the people watching this, you're probably thinking of QAnon. QAnon is the movement with which all of you are probably aware. Pizzagate, on the other hand, was a scandal that broke several months prior following a series of high-profile email leaks. Now, whether this was intentional or not, QAnon did a very good job of incorporating the themes and elements of the earlier scandal and adding an additional, 300% of lurid, easily disproven nonsense. So this had the effect of discrediting all of the claims made, even the ones for which there was strong evidence, simply by adding in easily debunked evidence to use as talking points and citations in articles by places like my favorite website, Wikipedia. Or, I guess, to use an analogy, imagine you're at a house party. You see someone spike a girl's drink. You confront him and leave to go warn the girl and tell the host. But before you do, the creepy guy starts loudly telling everyone, "Hey, there's some dude here who's having some kind of like mental episode. Like he's going around telling people I'm, like shooting people with a BB gun. I'm smearing shit on the walls, roofing people's drinks. I'm stabbing people with forks, saying the N-word. Like, can we please get this guy out of here? Yeah, dude, the guy's like tripping or something." The other reason is that this is a topic that people think of as a dangerous conspiracy theory, one that has the ability to get its hooks into people to such a degree that it pushes them into mental instability, as evidenced by the tragic mass shooting the narrative inspired. Now, see, most of you accepted that sentence at face value, because that's the tone it was invariably described by news outlets at the time, and since. But what's interesting is that, well, nobody got shot. Yeah, like according to accounts of the event from both police and people present, the perpetrator, Edgar Welch, walked into the restaurant around 3 p.m. carrying a rifle, told everyone in there not to worry, they weren't in danger, but they had to leave. He then spent about an hour searching the restaurant looking for the kids. Obviously, none were found. But then, how was that a shooting? Well, technically, a shot was fired.
So we're talking about the triangle-shaped food gate and the comment pizza. I'm not sure if that's going to get my channel flagged just by saying that, but that's what we're talking about. And we're talking about the guy who, there was a shootout right there that he went in there. And if you're like me, from what I remember, I heard that he was like shooting at people and stuff. But apparently he wasn't shooting at anyone. He just shot at the computer server there. And there's all sorts of other weird coincidences. Hey, thanks for buying my book. I appreciate it a lot.
At one point during the search, Welch came across a suspiciously locked door, and to open it, he shot the lock with his rifle. So yeah, one shot at a lock, in the middle of an empty restaurant. Upon finding nothing, he put down the rifle inside, proceeded to leave the restaurant unarmed, laid down in the road with his hands behind his head, and waited for the cops to come arrest him. He complied peacefully. However, let's take a look at the security camera footage. Oh, damn, that's weird. All the security cameras were turned around backwards to face the wall, just for that day. That's a shame. On the one day you'd least want that to happen. Well, what about the lock? Where did that door lead? Well, as it turned out, nowhere interesting. It turned out to be a normal utility closet being used as the restaurant server room. Was there any damage? Well, the only damage from the round fired was to the server, as it was shot directly through the hard drive platter.
Wait, why would a restaurant need to have that?
Okay, wait a second. Wasn't this thoroughly debunked? Because every time I've heard about this, it's in the phrase, the thoroughly debunked conspiracy theory. Well, it's not thoroughly debunked. It's extensively debunked. What's the difference? Well, if someone was claiming that I'm a 55-year-old ex-con and secretly Chinese and that they once saw me accidentally take a swig out of a Gatorade bottle full of photo developer that I had sitting directly next to a bottle of Gatorade I was drinking, I could extensively debunk their claims, but not thoroughly.
Because you only have documentation disproving the first three claims, right? Not because you drank photo developer. Not because you drank photo developer, right?
So, what was debunked? Well, mainly the stuff that immediately comes to mind. Stuff along the lines of a certain former First Lady eating the children in the restaurant.
Rosalind Carter.
Or the idea that there was a secret basement where they stored the kids for nefarious purposes. You see, stuff in that vein has been categorically debunked. No basement in the building. No evidence of freak shows of murder and debauchery occurring on the premises. That's kind of all made up. Like, regarding the basement specifically, before a bunch of people come in here and correct me, yes, there was a basement in the restaurant next door, Buck's Fishing and Camping, also opened by the same guy who started Comet Ping Pong, who we will discuss shortly. This restaurant does have a basement. This was the basement mentioned in a 2009 interview by the owner of Comet, talking about bringing up pizza sauce from the basement. For the record, though, I think he was literally just talking about pizza sauce, not like blended up children, as he was talking to a food magazine. More critically, though, this single-minded obsession with the basement completely screwed over this cause, because now people can just go, no basement, no basement, no basement, no basement, and shut down your argument whenever anyone goes and looks, because there is indeed no basement. So, why do we care? What wasn't debunked? Well, there's a lot of stuff that's very suspicious, but is either the sort of thing that would fall under the category of circumstantial evidence, or be it inadmissible as evidence at all, or in many cases would potentially be considered slander. So we're just going to be making no accusations, just impartially reporting facts here. The restaurant is owned by a man named James Alefantis. Little is known about his background, but it is possible that due to the lack of appearances in public records, he is using a pseudonym.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and I want to point out that he has an Instagram. maybe I can even find it here. Where he had a lot of really weird pictures. Like a lot of really weird, basically just like really incriminating stuff on his website. Um, like really, really creepy stuff. I'm gonna have to do another video on this later where I actually show all of the images that he was posting to his Instagram, but weird stuff having to do with children, rooms that look like torture rooms with blood. It got deleted, but it's still on archive.org. You know, it's like the internet. Nothing disappears on the internet. Of course, when I Google it, you don't find anything right away. I'd have to do a deeper dive. Forgive me, I kind of just decided to make this video as soon as I saw this get uploaded. But I'm just trying to ground this all in reality. You've got guys like this guy and guys like Colin Brown. I mean, who you can't argue against it. There's this global satanic ring of PDF files doing this stuff and getting away with it. It always gets swept under the rug. It always gets covered up. And frankly, I and many other people are fucking tired of it. We're tired of it. We're not going to allow it to happen anymore. These people can't be doing this stuff anymore. They need to be held accountable.
By coincidence, the way to say I love children in French is J'aime les enfants. He was voted one of the 50 most powerful people in D.C. This is kind of odd, given that, he owns a small to medium-sized restaurant, and D.C. is full of, senators and shit. According to property records, the buildings for Comet Ping Pong and Buck's Fishing and Camping are owned by the same holding company that owns the building next door.
This is totally a CIA, blackmailing operation type thing. It's got all the flags, all the red flags.
Occupied at the time by another pizza place, Besta Pizza. It is kind of weird for any entity to own a restaurant and then place a competing restaurant right next to it. It is weirder when the logos for both restaurants are dead ringers for something else. It's weird that the CCTV cameras mysteriously got turned around backwards.
By the way, there's a bunch of restaurants here in Portland that have that type of imagery and are totally doing the same thing that Comet Pizza did. Like, it's totally happening here and in other cities all across the country. There's one right down the street from my fucking house. Like, it's disgusting. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of people pretending it's not real because they're too uncomfortable to accept it. It's real. You know, this isn't going to be a very long video, guys.
To face the wall behind them on the exact day that someone stormed the restaurant with a gun. It is weirder when the man who did said shooting turns out to have been an out-of-work actor with a prior conviction for a DUI, who immediately prior to the shooting was in a late-night car accident where he hit a pedestrian. I'm not going to get into the emails because that is a...
Basically, that would make you can get out of this hitting a pedestrian if you do this stuff for us. You won't have to be in prison for the rest of your life. Like, it's all so obvious. I got to give Flesh Similar credit for finding all this information. Like, I'm too busy trying to become sane and dealing with alters taking me over and all the trauma that I have from what I've gone through in these programs. Like, I'm too busy doing that to sit here and make videos like this. But thankfully, we live in an age where I can use technology to just react to these videos to help them spread further and then give my own spin on them, which is a lot easier than taking the probably hours of time it takes to do all this. No, it takes hours upon hours of time to do all this research and make videos like this. So I just want to thank people like Flesh Simulator, like Colin, who are more quote-unquote normal people who don't remember being in time travel Black Ops programs, but they're so passionate and maybe even upset about all these things that are being swept under the rug and covered up that they feel they have to make these YouTube channels and really put this information out there. Flesh Simulator does a very good job of doing it kind of humorously, which I've noticed a lot of channels, like for instance the Y files, with the fish and stuff. He's very silly about it, and that's why he's able to get away with more. So I think humor helps a lot of these channels that aren't getting flagged and are able to put their information out there more. they use humor as a shield, so that way it doesn't feel as serious, and that way the powers that be don't feel as threatened by it. I think. I feel like he's kind of good at doing that, but his humor is way more crass and way more fuck you to them, I would say, than the conspiracy or the Y-Files guy.
Whole other can of worms, but needless to say, it is unusual for a notable political figure to request to rent a pizza for an hour.
Another thing too is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up is, as my reaction to this, like I said initially, the knee jerk was to think it's all fake, you know. I actually know people that are in punk rock bands that have played shows at this place after this all happened, as a like supposed like fuck you kind of thing to all these far right people that believed in this conspiracy theory. I just want to say that makes me really sad. I get where they're coming from, because I mean, if it wasn't real and if they were right, like that'd be an amazing thing to do or whatever. But the fact is they're just so fucking brainwashed and mind controlled that they can't just do a little research. And hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, thank you for the super chat. Wow, that really helps me out a lot, guys. It really motivates me to do this. Honestly, it's hard to come on here and do this all the time, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, I just it's crazy to me. Like I'm not gonna name their names. They make great music. They're great people. Their hearts are in the right place. So I'm not gonna put a target on their back like that. But yeah, I know them from the punk rock circuit, and they literally have played shows at the Comet Pizza. So that's like how deep it is. I think is because it's like, okay, you can find out about this and then come to the conclusion that it's not real and be passionate about like how it's not real. And that's what happens to people. They become passionate about debunking this stuff. And I just want to say, you cannot watch this Flesh Simulator video. It's not even 10 minutes long. And the amount of facts in it and strange coincidences and stuff like that associated with this restaurant, it's so naive and wrong to the victims, to these children who are being abused, which is a real thing that's actually happening, to just sweep it under the rug. I just thought we'd do a quick video on this. I think I want to do a more in-depth one in the future. Oh, God, I would love to have Flesh Simulator on my show. That would be amazing. He's way bigger than I am, but hey, if you're seeing this and you want to learn about time travel and stuff, come on my show, Flesh Simulator. I don't know what your real name is. And yeah, but anyway, this video is not that much longer, so.
The news response to this controversy is where I want to leave off, because I think it's important to understand why this was such a polarizing event for so many people. The media response to this was resolute and unified.
Not real, not real, not real, not real, not real, not real. It's been debunked, it's been debunked, it's been debunked.
And then after someone shot a hard drive,
Dangerous fringe conspiracy theory, dangerous fringe conspiracy theory.
One of the only people in the media who did any investigation whatsoever was a local news anchor in Georgia named Ben Swan. He looked into it and did a short segment in 2018 going over some of the same things I did, and was immediately unceremoniously fired for doing so. But there are 3 other journalists I'd like to bring up. 3 of the most hardline debunkers of the theory, at least one of whom with personal ties to accused members of the political establishment. Slade Somer, James Meek, and Darren Bell have since been arrested. Arrested for what? Okay, well, so you know the band Lost Prophets? That. If you don't know the band Lost Prophets, you know the singer Gary Glitter? That. Okay, so the official takeaway of my opinion on this, nothing. I have no opinion.
I was going to announce at the end of this, I'm going to be on Jessica's show on the hour, next hour. I made a post on my YouTube about it. And we're going to be covering the Louvre, which I've been to, underneath it, the underneath part. And there's a lot going on there, and she did a remote view of it, and it's a fascinating story. Barack Obama is involved. Barack Obama shows up. So, and she confirmed it with remote viewing. So definitely watch it.
Opinion. I'm not sharing any opinion. I have done nothing but collate freely available factual info. If this is my last video, hey, I guess it was all true. So, to the powers that be, the best way to discredit this video is actually to give it a huge algo boost. Give it the Mr. Beast treatment.
See what I'm talking about with the humor?
Me right, I creep at night. Posse deep is how I creep. Call me right on the creep. We get funky side out.
So that's it. I'm going to be on the Cryptid Huntress on the next hour, wherever you are. And it's 420, so smoke them if you got them. Love you guys. My next show is this Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Penny Bradley, my biological mother from the programs. And we're going to just be talking about a bunch of stuff, honestly. World events, just things. We're going to have her on the show. And yeah, go over to the Cryptid Huntress on the next hour. It's going to be wild, you guys. This it's out of the it's an entire Montauk mission that I remember, and it's crazy. It's fucking insane what we did. And what's down there. It's intense. So anyway, please check that out. Thank you so much for the super chat. Please like and subscribe, all that stuff. I know I slowed down a little bit, but it's only because I'm trying to take care of myself and I'm not going anywhere, you guys. So, yeah, much love. See you soon.